Hey, Year 9. One of the things we want to teach you within STEP program is about democracy in the UK political system. And you might ask the question why, but actually it's really important as you grow up that you understand how decisions are made and how they impact upon you. And we're going to try and support you in that process. So in Year 9, you'll have thought about pressure groups, you may have thought about political parties, your ideas and belief, your ideology if you like. That's the theory behind it. We now want to move on to active citizenship. And we're thinking about how decisions are made in school, how you can influence those decisions, and the electoral process we have in school in terms of the year council and the presidential elections. That's what this session is focused on. Now, complete mastery of the UK political system is to be able to look at these words and be able to explain them fully. There are 15 words on there, and a mastery would mean that you'd be able to give a couple of sentences on each and give an example, I would expect. So the first exercise I want you to do is look at these 15 words and pick the 3 you're most comfortable with and the 3 you're least comfortable with, and that allows us to have further discussion within the tutor group. You have 4 minutes on that. That's 240 seconds, starting now. Okay, any institution, whether it be business, government or schools, there's a process by which decisions are made, ideas are implemented and money is spent. Big question is, how are people consulted in this process? How much involvement do people have and participation? If we look at the UK political system, a citizen, when they get to 18, get an opportunity to vote. They vote for the MP. That's the consultation process. The MP then goes to Parliament. Parliament will then make decisions about which ideas are going to be implemented and how much money is going to be spent. The government then spends that money on services such as the NHS and the education system, and that impacts upon us as citizens. And we'll take a judgment then whether or not our MPs have done a good job or they haven't done a good job. Okay, so that's the process. It's like a circle. In this school, we want to start considering changes, and therefore we go through the process of consultation. What's practical, what might be effective, and therefore we're thinking about how you can get involved as students. One way is going through student surveys, where we ask the questions about how we can improve things within school. We get a range of evidence back. That might be the statistical evidence from the surveys, but we might talk to students as well. And then finally, we may have some different ideas, maybe things we didn't think about in the first place, and it'll help to shape the way we move forward. Now I'm going to ask your tutor to put on the video, which is really reflecting the evidence that we got back from your behaviour survey and why it was valuable to us. And that'll happen now. Okay, there's a range of different ways in which you can consult. Surveys are good, but we would also want that to happen within your STEP group as well. What we want you to do over the next week is pick your tutor representatives, okay, where they can feed back their ideas to the year council. Year council then will put together those ideas to take to the school council, the full school council from year 8 to year 13. And then what happens after that is they come up with solutions they can take to the senior leadership team. Let's look at that as a diagram. You can see there the year councils coming up with ideas at the bottom range, okay, the things that are impacting upon them. They feed that into the school student council, who then consider the potential solutions to these problems that they want to put forward, the suggestions they want to put forward to the senior leadership team. The senior leadership team, led by the head teacher, will then look at those suggestions and see what's practical and what can be done in the short term and try and achieve those goals. So, we have a number of key issues that we want you to discuss. So within STEP, over the next 3 minutes, I want you to consider maybe the list of 6 that I put there, or maybe other things that you think are the key issues that could be changed. That's 180 seconds. Have a go at that now. Okay, we're now moving on to the process of election, and we need to think about what it takes to be a good representative. So, I want you to consider, first of all, with the person beside you, the 4 qualities that you think are important to representing other people. What can you come up with? It's a 2-minute exercise, 120 seconds, starting now. Right, I wonder if you got many of these qualities. There's a list of 8 there, from good listener through to approachable to being inventive. Okay, you might have got other ones as well. But what I want you to do is consider this 8. Okay, 1 minute, that's 60 seconds. What would be your top 3? Okay, that's what I'm looking for, your top 3 that you would think was important in any representative. Have a go at that now. All right, next week is elections week. That's when you're going to vote for your tutor representative, but also the sixth form president. The way voting happens in a democracy is through a secret ballot. This means a person votes without anyone else knowing their choice. Okay, and you can think about why that's important, so you don't feel pressurized by other people in the way which way you vote. People vote in a voting booth, and people use a ballot paper to make their choice. Okay, so that's the way it works. Now in a ballot paper, you'll be putting your preferences. Your first preference, and then your second preference. The person you really want, and then the person you'd also take. Okay, that's what you got to think about. Now what your tutor is going to do now is show you videos of different candidates who are wanting to be sixth form president. I want you to keep in mind the qualities we've talked about. How many people are showing those qualities? Do they work for you? Would you vote for them? Would you give them their first choice? Okay. Have a go at that now. Good luck.